Hey Divi Nation, welcome to a brand new Divi Use Case live stream. Today I'm going to be showing you how to add a store locator to your website using the new layout pack that was just released on Monday, the Handyman Layout pack. And I'll be using a plugin called WP Store Locator, and this plugin is free, comes with some powerful customizable features, including auto-generated driving directions and even some custom map styles. So you can access this layout pack, the Handyman Layout pack, from the Divi Builder, and I've included some helpful links for you in the video description, so you can check that out, including a link to the blog post that goes along to this tutorial, and also a link to the plugin I'll be using and a link to the Divi product page in case you haven't got your chance to check out Divi for yourself yet. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and get to it and jump right in. First of all, just want to welcome everyone and make sure that I'm coming in loud and clear. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Everything looking good. And let us know where you're from. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We have some people in the all right, we got some thumbs up right there. Thank you, Geraldo. And we have someone in the comments to help answer any questions you have. And I'm here also to answer any questions that you have for this live stream. So looking forward to it. Looks like my screen in Facebook is not working again. I had this problem last time, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and let's see, fix that. Let me go ahead and pause this for a moment. I apologize, Facebook users. I'm going to have to end this live stream because my video screen is not working. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you. And while we're waiting on that, go ahead and welcome each other in the comments if you would. All right. Just a few moments. For this tutorial, you will be needing the Divi theme. You will also be needing the Handyman Layout pack, so make sure you get that ready to go. And I'm going to show you the plugin we'll be using. All right. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. All right. Okay, so Divi theme, got that one. We're ready to go. We got it situated over there in Facebook, I believe. And also the WP Store Locator plugin. So we'll be needing that. It's in the WordPress repository. It is a free theme, and that's the one we're going to be using. And again, we'll need this Handyman layout pack. And specifically, we're going to be using the homepage layout pack for this use case. And we're going to be building a page that's going to show us our stores in a store locator. So just to give you a kind of a preview of what that's going to look like, here it is. Just using some of the elements of the of the layout to build a store locator. So if you have a number of companies spread out across multiple locations, this would be a great way to showcase those, make it easy for your users to find the store nearest to them. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And let me just give you a preview of the functionality here. As you can see, they have this orange, these little map icons here, markers. The orange one is my location that I am currently in, my start location, and then I have these other store locations in the map there. And this is a Google map, and it actually has a custom style that I added to it. And over here, I don't know if you can see, but if I hover over the store over here and the list of stores to the left, there's a little excuse me, scroll functionality there. It bounces the icon on the map, so that's pretty cool. Shows you which one. And if I click on directions, it's smart enough to just generate some directions for me on the map as well as it is in the text there. It's got a nice search bar up there, and also I'm going to show you how to style this to match your layout. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First thing I want to do before I jump into the plugin settings, I know we have some people just joining in on Facebook because I had to restart that live stream. So welcome. If you're just joining us, this is our Divi Use Case live stream, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this store locator for your website using the Handyman Layout. And don't forget to check out the video description for a link to the blog post that goes along with this tutorial that was just published this morning on our blog, and also a link to the plugin we'll be using and a link to get Divi if you don't have it. So, all right, let's jump in. First thing, let's go ahead and tackle those plugin settings. To do that, I'm going to go to the WordPress dashboard. If you already have the plugin installed, you're going to want to navigate in your dashboard to Store Locator and go down here to Settings. All right, and once those settings are there, loaded, you can, I'm going to show you some basic, settings to kind of get you up and running, but you would want to go in and look at these settings in further detail for your own use. So I kind of like that the settings are all in one page and they're organized pretty nicely. So there's not a whole lot of clicking and going back and forth in a tab. So that's pretty cool. And the first thing you'll see here is this Google Maps API, which is going to be important to getting that functionality on your store locator map. So looking in at the comments, Matthew Turner, is it Turner? I'm not sure, is from Fort Worth, Texas. That is not far from me. I'm over here in Houston. So welcome, Matthew. And Uncle Social, nice to see you again in the comments. Let's go. He says, yes, okay. There's some comments about my need for nerdy stuff in the background. Yes, you know what? This year I'm gonna do something about my background. I lead, you can probably tell from my background just how exciting my life really is. But anyway, I appreciate the suggestion. Let me get BJ to send me some nerdy stuff I can put in the background. Oh, okay. So Unforced Rhythms, you're from Houston, actually Conroe, which is good. That's where I am. So awesome. Right around the corner. All right. So looks like everybody's getting comfortable in the comments, and feel free to keep asking any questions. Let's get back to our settings here. The Google Maps API here is needed. So it actually, the settings have these little tool tips that'll kind of help you get the ball rolling if you don't know where to go to set up your server key and browser key for your Google API. So go ahead and hover over those and click on those links to do that. Once you have those set, I went ahead and set my map language to English, and it's pretty helpful that it does support multiple languages, this plugin, so that's good. I know a lot of you appreciate that. And you can set a default map region if you'd like. Scrolling down there to our search options, I went ahead and left that actually to the defaults, but you can enable the autocomplete while they're searching in the form and stuff like that, which is pretty convenient. The map section, I did go ahead and change this setting here. I think it defaults to not being checked, but attempt to auto-locate the user. I believe it's using, some geolocation magic or whatever to locate the user when they're online using the website. So the auto-locate user is helpful. I went ahead and checked that. Kind of help the user get the proper placement on their map when they're searching for the store. And then let's see, I also put a starting point here, as you can see, Houston, Texas, and you can put whatever starting location you want. Adjust zoom level, things like that. One thing I want to point out is right here you have an ability to enter a custom map style for your Google map, which is going to be used for your store locator. So what I did was, actually this is my first time ever doing that. Some of you probably have already done that, but you can, if you would like to, you can go in and click. I went ahead and went to this map styler, and they have some links there for you. And what you do is go to the map styler here, and you use the options over here to style the map, and it generates, once you're done, you can get the JSON code and paste it into your, wrong page, paste it in here. And that's what I did. I've actually included this code in the blog post that was published this morning. So if you want the exact code, you can go ahead and grab that from the blog post. And what it did was just kind of style it. It shows you a preview there. Just, outline those roads and highways in the orange and match the blue color for the layout pack. And that's something you can do, which I thought was a nice feature. Yes, the map styler is very cool, Uncle Social, and I thought so as well. I had never done it before. I thought it would be very complicated, but it really wasn't. So, all right, so going down here, what I did was, if I go back to my site here, and just so I can show you the form. And this is generated by one plugin. So what you're seeing here, this form and the map and the list is all generated by a plugin. But the plugin does generate this search form above here. And what I did was, you might want to increase the width of your labels here, the section for your labels. And that's what I did here. I just gave it a width of 115 pixel. You can change the width of your search field and other things like that, like the store locator height. This is important, this option here, the store locator template. It has two options. The default option is the one you see here. Just go ahead and show you. That's the default layout. But you can change it to have the store list below the map. And I'm just going to go ahead and change the default. I think that's going to change it for me on the live version, just to show you what it looks like when you change this layout to show the listings under the map. Oops, wrong button. Okay, And there you go. So now you can see the listings are under the map. Kind of gives you a full width map look and feel for your site, which also looks really, really good with the layout. All right. Scroll back down. And again, that was the store locator template, in case you wanted to know what that was. I'm going to give it back the default setting for now. Scroll down here. I'm going to skip these settings. Actually, I do want to point out this one. This is a show more info link in the store. And that's important because you may want to show more information whenever a user clicks on a store. And it would show up right here, a little link that says more info. You would click it and some more info would drop down. You could also make the more info pop up this little info. When I click on my marker there, you can see some info pops up as well. That's already built in, and it's really helpful. All right, let's scroll down. These markers, this was pretty convenient. They have some colors for you to choose from. I went ahead and chose my start location marker to be an orange that closely matched our layout, and also a store location marker, which is a dark blue, which also better matches the layout. So I went ahead and chose those two. And I went ahead and left the store editor information to its default. And basically this is, a default store, hours, days that are open, that kind of information, which is something that would show in the more info section as well. And you can, of course, customize it per store whenever you add a new store, which is what we're going to do after the settings are set up. You can customize all the labels, the wording used throughout the plugin here. And another debugger tool, stuff like that. But for the most part, that's all you really need to do. Don't forget to go ahead and save your changes. And the next thing you're going to want to do is add a new store. So to add a new store, you're going to go to the plugin in the WordPress dashboard for the plugin, go to Store Locator, and then add new or new store. And then you would put a name for your store. You might want to put some, a description here. This would be more information. This actually won't show up by default. You have to make sure you check that option in the settings to show that more info link to show this information. So just so you are aware of that. The address and location here, you would want to put that in. And once you put I would suggest putting the full address there so that when you save and after you put this information and publish it, the latitude and longitude will be generated for you. And then that's going to show that preview location over here on the right to make sure you have that show up in your Google Maps. So make sure you might have to, enter it a couple times to make sure you have the information right so that it shows up in the Google Maps. This is where you can give your specific opening hours for this specific store and any additional information like telephone, fax, email, and a URL to your store page if you have one. All right, once you've entered that, go ahead and set a featured image here, and and that featured image will show up here over here to the right, this little thumbnail, which is helpful. Okay, let's go back. So let's publish our new store here. You can also add a store category if you want to organize them that way, but I'm going to show you some of the stores that I've already created. Here I've just created 3 of these stores. And let me go ahead and edit this one here just to show you. I've just entered a location. You can see the latitude and longitude was generated for me. And then the preview location is shown here. And that's it. Once you have enough of those stores entered, you're ready to go ahead and build your page and put in that plugin. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start things off by adding a new page. You don't have to add a new page to use this plugin. Of course, you can put it anywhere on any page using Divi. So, but I think it is helpful to show you how to build a page for this. And I'm gonna do a brief pause and welcome anyone who is just joining us. This is our Divi Use Case live stream for this week, and I'm showing you how to add a store locator to your site using the WP Store Locator plugin and the Handyman Layout pack. And don't forget to check out those links below in the video description to check out the blog post that goes along with this tutorial, this use case, and also a link to the plugin I'm using, and also a link to Divi if you don't have it yet. So let's go ahead and get back to it. How we doing on the comments? All right, so we have some questions here. Let's look at our YouTubers. Sean Miller, welcome from Ohio. Let's see, Goshen Webb. Jason will be interested in a Divi meetup here in Houston. Any takers? That sounds awesome. Yeah, that definitely interested in that. Let's look over here in Facebook. Looks like we have a question from Curesat. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Is the Divi plus WooCommerce really great for SEO? That is probably a loaded question that I won't have time to get into. Plus, I'm probably not the guy that's going to, answer that very well. So hopefully someone in the comments can help, or one of our team members can help you with that. Okay. All right. So let's get back to it. You're going to add a new page. I'll just call it, store locator page. Go ahead and deploy the visual builder. And I'm going to come down here to my settings menu and click on load from library. And those wonderful pre-made layouts will show up. I'm going to scroll down and find the Handyman Layout pack, click on it. And then I'm going to find the home page. It's always fun for me, I don't know if it is for you, to, whenever I'm adding something new to a layout, to kind of explore all the cool features and see how I can mix and match them to add some new designs that match but is somehow different. I really enjoy it, and this homepage has some great elements, so I'm going to use this layout. I really enjoy the use of dividers for this layout. I'm going to erase this default section that came when I loaded the page. All right, so once the layout is loaded, I'm actually going to speed up the process by doing some little design tricks, like copying some style here. So I want this blue background here. So I'm going to come over to my section here. I'm going to copy the style of that section. I'm going to come up to this very top header section. I'm going to paste that style. All right, so now I have the blue background. that I want. And I don't want this, quote background image that's there. So I'm going to go into my settings. I'm going to change that. And actually, before I jump into the settings, I'm going to exit there. And I'm going to actually start deleting some stuff that I don't need. So backtrack there. I'm going to see this. This is a row, and it has my title, which I want to keep, but I don't want this text module underneath in this row, so I'm going to delete that. I do not want this row, so I'm going to delete that one. I am going to add a row here, eventually, but I don't want that one, so I'm going to delete it. And I need to delete the rest of this content because I'm actually going to keep it real simple and just have this one section for my store locator page. Now that that's all that's cleaned up, I'm going to go into my section settings. I'm going to go to my image here. And let's go ahead and grab this one here. This is one of the images that came with the layout pack right here. The guy with the tools, and I'm going to upload that image. Now, I'm going to do something a little different with the background image. I'm actually going to change it from actual size to fit. All right, and then I'm going to change it from the image position to a bottom center. All right, and I'm going to go over here to my gradients. Go ahead and update my color. It doesn't come with a gradient, it comes with a blue background, but I'm going to change it because I want a gradient overlay. And I'm going to use the gradient to actually make separate this content into two sections. I'll show you what I mean. So for the first gradient color, I'm going to paste in this blue here. This is the blue from the actual layout. And of course, you can check out the blog post if you want the exact colors. I know it's hard to see on the video here. All right, so there you go. Put in my two gradient colors, and before I update my position, I'm actually going to select to show that gradient above the background image there. All right, I'm going to make my start position 50%, so 50% down the page, and I'm going to drag my end position all the way back so that I can have a straight line there. All right, I think that does it for my background. Now I need to go ahead and add my divider there. So as you can see, I have a divider up here in the right corner. You can see that effect, and I basically want to match that with the bottom of my section there. So I'm going to click my bottom divider and click on the style that I need. There it is. Oops. All right. And one unique thing that was done on this layout was, and I actually hadn't even thought of this before, but the divider horizontal repeat, this repeats that pattern or design of the divider multiple times if you want. But if you put a 0.5, which is a half of a repeat there, so it just kind of creates that unique design. So if you were wondering how it created that unique divider there, that's the key. Go ahead and flip it there so it can go into my right side to kind of add some symmetry there. And I'm going to save my settings. All right, I need some margin below my section. So I'm going to come back to my section settings, come down to my margin, and I'm going to add some margin there. 60 pixels should do it. There we go. Now we have some spacing. Or I can use my inline editor here to just adjust the text. Let's go ahead and put find a handyman near you. All right, so now we're ready for our new row. So I'm going to create a new full width row, and I'm going to add a text module. And this is going to be the text module that I'm going to put my shortcode. So I have the shortcode and I can paste it in there, but I do want to show you how you can actually generate the shortcode a little bit easier using the button that they have. So in order to do that, and this is common with third-party plugins, we're just going to have to, I'm going to publish my page, and I'm going to go to the Backend Builder editor here. All right, so once that loads, this is my row with my divider, my text module. I'm going to click on it, and that way you can see this Insert Store Location button. This is the shortcode generator. So I'm going to erase my content, and I'm going to click on that generator. Select the Use Template, and I actually like all my default settings, so all I'm going to do is you can change the markers and other things, but I like the default, so I'm going to insert Store Locator shortcode there and save. All right, now I'm going to go back to my Visual Builder. And there you can see it has been deployed in my row there. Okay, so I do need to, whenever there's a plugin generated, a shortcode that generates the content there, there are some limitations as to what you can do easily, I should say, to style it, without using custom CSS and things like that. But one of the things that I like to take advantage of is to decorate the backgrounds, or design the background and frame it with some unique content to give it a more custom feel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my row first, and let's go ahead and give it some custom padding here. I'm going to give it a 0 pixel padding. Here we go. And actually, I'm going to link those. I need a 0 bottom as well, a 0 left padding, and for the right padding, I'm going to add 3%. That's just going to move it over just a tad because I want to put a border on this right side to match this border on this title section. So that's the reason for that spacing. And of course, I'm thinking about mobile, and I want to go to my tablet here and take away that right padding on tablet, which will then take it away on smartphone as well. All right. And that'll do it for that. Now let's go ahead and add our border. So for my border style, I do want a right border, so I'm going to click on that tab. I'm going to give it a 10 pixels to match the border width of the title border over here. And then I'm going to grab my orange that matches the layout here. All right, and then I'm going to save my settings. So as you can see, it's coming together. All right. Let's go ahead and continue on. I need to create. I've created my text module, but I haven't really styled it yet. So I'm going to go into my text module, and I'm going to add some styling to it. So I've added my shortcode. It's there. But what I do need to do now is add a background. So again, like we did for our section, we added a gradient to kind of divide it into a color on the top and an image on the bottom. Actually, we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to use the gradient to add a background for our search bar. So to do that, I'm going to click on to add a border gradient, grab my orange color there. So for the left, move it over here. For my left color, I'm going to put the orange color. And then for the right color, I'm actually just going to use white. Then I'm going to change my gradient, my start position to, I think I'm going to just use 20%, I believe. Yeah, 20%, and then bring my end position all the way down. And as you can see, that's going to serve as a background for my search bar as soon as I add some padding to my module. So let's go ahead and do that. One thing, we're gonna go over to our design settings, and you can actually adjust the size of the text generated by the plugin. So to do that, you can match the font size and actually text font, I believe. I'm just going to increase my font to 18 pixels. All right. Let's go down to give it some custom padding. All right. The custom padding should be 2% on the top and bottom. One thing about the percentage length unit here, you do want to make sure, it doesn't really apply here, but I just want to make sure everyone understands that sometimes on certain browsers, adding a percent on the top and bottom of, or using padding for a top and bottom is sometimes going to not respond the right way for certain browsers. So you are better off using a, and that's only, and that's only when you have the option to, on your row, to equalize column heights. So if you know what I'm talking about, when you select equalize column heights, stay away from percentages for margins and padding, for top and bottom margins and paddings. Just a little tip there, but it's okay to use now because we aren't using the option to make rows, columns equal heights. So once I have my 2% top and bottom, I'm going to give a 3% left and right padding. And so you can see how that's coming together nicely on my store locator here. But I do want to add a box shadow there to kind of add some depth to it, since I have a light background at the bottom. I can do that. Simply select my box shadow, give it a 14 pixel vertical position, a blur strength of 40 pixels. There you go. And a spread strength of -13. That kind of just brings it in a little bit there. Excuse me. All right, so I like the shadow color there, and we're good to go. Let's go ahead and save the settings. One thing I did do here, and it's the only time I feel like it was necessary, but it actually really isn't if you want to keep the custom search button. That's actually a button color that I added and sized it a little differently using some custom CSS. And to do that, I just went to my menu there, went to page settings, to my advanced tab, and I added, it's not on this page, sorry, it's on a different page. Let me just go to my theme customizer to show you. I actually added it there as well, I believe. So in the theme customizer, I just added some custom CSS to style that search button. And I've entered that code into the blog post that goes with this use case, so go ahead and check that out. So there it is. And all it does is give the that button that dark blue color that matches the layout and adds a little bit of padding to it to kind of make it a little bigger. I thought it looked a lot better that way, so I added that to the blog post in case y'all wanted it. All right, so I'm going to exit out of that. And I think we are done for the most part. Except for, I think I need take away some margins I have here. Let's look at this row here to the spacing. That top row that has my title, I think we have too much spacing here. Yeah, so it has some custom margin here at the bottom. I just want to take that out. That way that, that comes up and looks really nice with that two-tier background there. Don't forget to save your settings, and let's go ahead and check out what it looks like on the live version. All right, there you go. And again, if I hover over the list here, it'll kind of start jumping, making that marker jump so he knows which one you're talking about. I think you can actually change that to something else in the settings, so you might want to play around with those settings. And again, you can add some I'm sorry, this comes already there, which I thought was really neat, the directions. So you click on directions and you can see that just pop up there using the Google Maps API key, of course. Let's see what it looks like on mobile. Let's just enable the visual builder there so you can see. And the main difference there will, stack up your menu. And let me see so this is, I'm gonna toggle the tablet, and let's go ahead and toggle the smartphone there. There you can see. I shouldn't use this visual builder one because this actually, because it's a plugin, it's not going to respond the same way. So that's actually inaccurate. So I'm going to go actually to the page, and I'm going to shrink my window here just to kind of show you what that looks like. Actually looks quite nice when it stacks on phone and tablet. So make sure, and you might have to play around with the settings to get it right, but for the most part, that's pretty much it. They do have some, more I should say some add-ons. That's the word I was looking for the plugin they are paid add-ons, but let's go ahead and I'm going to show you one that would be helpful for you. So if you go to their website and WP Store Locator.co/add-ons, here they are. I liked the option of the search widget, and this would allow you to add a search widget to any page that you want, and it will I'm assuming, redirect to your store locator page and update that information to show your results, which I thought was worth it. I think it's $19 for a single license. So if you're interested in these add-ons, go ahead and check that out. And it would actually work really well, like if I went to the home page and I wanted to feature here just a find your nearest store search widget on the home page, I could do that and it would redirect to my store locator. So some ideas to kind of take it to the next level if you want. Let's check out the comments because we are about to wrap this up. And all right. Sorry, my settings box was blocking some of the content. I apologize for that. Hopefully you can see the results now. Awesome. Let's check out our YouTube here. Looks like we have some discussions. Sean Miller, I do appreciate the training. Thanks a lot. We do really enjoy these live streams. A chance to meet everyone. Uncle Social, worth it just for learning about the map styler. Cool. I like watching a master at work. I don't know about that, but I appreciate it. Very good suggestion. A silent time lapse on content pack creation would be interesting. Very good. Would be good to see how Divi experts create a site from fresh or from the scratch. Yes, doesn't even need narration, just a chance to see how they move around Divi. I really like that idea, and I know I could learn from seeing that from other members of my team. So very good suggestion, Uncle Social. Is there anywhere to read about, Uncle Social again here, is there anywhere to read about Divi and how changing tablet margin, etc., affects mobile margin? Okay, so I'm not quite sure I understand there, but I haven't really looked at this specifically, but I'm assuming whenever you are changing those values in desktop, tablet, and smartphone, you are basically entering a value at a certain breakpoint. So if I go to, just go to my module here just to kind of show you that option. All right, so if I go to my design, let me just left align it there. If I go to my design and I want to change this text size on desktop, tablet, and smartphone. So if I went to the tablet and I entered a value, basically think of it as an order. Yes, correct. So I'm getting there. Uncle Social says, I thought you changed a setting for tablet and said it would automatically change it from mobile. Yes, that is the case for the most part. I think there are some instances where you will have to override the value. I think for dividers, you may need to enter a specific one for each tablet or each mobile device. But in general, if I set the tablet, for instance, to let's say 16 pixels, I changed all my text in the module there. If I went to smartphone, you'll see that it inherited that 16 pixel value automatically. And that's, I believe, because in the code, what it's doing is it's always going to inherit the last CSS value in the CSS code. So since the tablet is the last one that the page reads, on that breakpoint, on that media query, then it's going to inherit the tablet one, not the desktop. But as soon as you go past that breakpoint back into the desktop size of the browser, it's going to go and, you know, inherit the 18 pixel. That's a good question. I hope that was not too confusing. All right, cool. You understand now? Good. Thank you guys so much. Helen Webster asked a question. Hi, so you are using Google Maps here. How about the new rules? I'm going to have to plead the fifth on that one. I do not know. And I know that there are a lot of, you know, new rules surrounding the Google API, but I honestly don't know how this is going to play a part. So maybe there's some caution that needs to be taken there. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, Helen, and hopefully we'll all, you know, look into that before we start using it on our live sites. All right, any more questions? I appreciate all the comments. And I think we're ready to call it quits. So I'm going to all right. So actually, that's all I have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please be sure to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And keep an eye out on our next freebie, which is coming out on Friday. I don't know if you know, but we are releasing one on Monday and Friday every week. So that's 2 new layout packs every week. And also coming up on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern is our This Week in WordPress live stream. So please be sure and check that out. And we will be back here next Tuesday with another use case live stream. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again, and I will see you guys soon.